Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today my topic of presentation is inventory management in healthcare system. It is not enough to have a good mind. The important thing is to use it well. Learning objective. Introduction of material management. Introduction of inventory control and management objectives. Types of inventories. Function of inventory management. Cost of inventory management. Various methods and some recent advances. By the end of this presentation, participant will be able to describe the introduction of inventory control management, objectives, types, function, and method of inventory control. Supply chain. In healthcare organizations, supply chain is a new way of conceptualizing medical supply management. It is defined as virtual network that facilitate the movement of product from its production, distribution, and consumption. In considering supply chain, healthcare managers are not only concerned with how much of the type of supply and when need to purchase and carry in their stock room, which is known as inventory. It is actually framework start from for manufacturers, the suppliers, pharmaceutical, medical, surgical suppliers, then distributors, which is wholesaler, group purchasing organization, providers, which include hospitals, hospital system, physicians, and end users include patients, employers, insurers, drug benefit agencies, and governments. And it may be upward stream from distribution to manufacturers, or it may be downward from providers to end users. Material management. Actually, supply chain management, material management objective in healthcare system is to establish and operate efficient and effective system, ensure supply of required quantity and quality of materials, and when where it is needed. And it is actually the neglected area in the health field. Why we need for material management? Because there is financial benefit. Material make up to approximately 40% of total expense in health centers. There may be better availability of material. Cold chain need to be maintained, and contraceptive supplies high priority must be available at all the times throughout the country. uh, Various components of material management. First of all, in material management, there is we can identify the items or drugs and either on the basis of the prevalent morbidities and disease, and then identify the various funds associated with it, and always we prefer safe and generic drugs. After identification of item, we estimate the demand, which by reviewing previous monthly, quarterly, and annual requirement of vaccine and drugs. Then, after estimating demand, we purchase and procure and inspect. Then, after inspect and quality control, after quality control, there come the storage and then inventory control. After inventory control in stock, on demand, there is issue procedure. There is also maintenance, repair, and contamination of waste materials, which expiry drugs in the material management, and to maintain and evaluate of there is also need of efficient and effective information system. The purchase and procurement may be centralized or decentralized. Centralized means ordering bulk makes negotiating easy and reduce cost. Eliminated middleman, and it may be decentralized mean peripheral unit buy their own supplies, avoid delays, and consumer satisfied. Storage in material management separate. There should be separate for medical and non-medical items. Adequate facility. There should be light ventilation. Narcotics and dangerous drugs in low cupboard, and it should be storage free from vermins. Now come the inventory control, which is a component of material management. What is inventory? Inventory is a complete list of items such as goods in stocks, drugs, or equipment. It is the method of maintaining stock of items at a level at which purchasing and stocking costs are the lowest possible without interference with supply. There come also the issue procedure up from the inventory stock, which include a procedure that saves time, reduce paperwork, and prevents duplication. Written intent for issues to various departments. Special rules include for safe and costly drug first in and first out. Always keep older stock in front and newer stock out the back. Push or allocation system include decision always making at the top level in the issuance of dangerous stock. Pull or acquisition system include peripheral outlet draws stock from central store, and this may mixed system both pull or push system. Issue procedure should include maintain stock register. The pharmacist or user should be asked to maintain a separate register for entry of daily usage. At the end of each month, the balance should be checked physically. Maintenance and repair contamination vehicle, keeping maximum portion of vehicles, expensive equipment, proper maintenance, and convince staff for proper cleaning, inspection, reporting. There should be contamination committee for formed for worn out objects. Information system meticulous record keeping is absolute essential in material management to justify action. A bin card is a record of recipient, issue, and stock in hand maintained for each item. Now come inventory management, which is actually the topic and it is a component of material management. What is inventory? Inventory is anything that is purchased and held prior to use or prior to need or stored in store. Nature of inventories. Inventories may be in the form of raw material, which are basic inputs that are converted to finished product to manufacturing process. It should be work in progress, which is semi-manufactured product, or finished goods, which is completely manufactured product ready for sale. Or it may be supplies, office and plant material not directly enter production but are necessary for production process. Uh, Various difficulties are faced by hospital administration, for example, shortage of pharmaceutical, loss of threat of surgical equipment, pharmaceutics, overstock, tracking expiry dates, storing medicine, generating bill, creating sale report, saving medical device for getting stolen. Therefore, proper inventory control in healthcare system material management is concerned with providing the drug supplies and equipment needed by health personnel to deliver health services. Inventory control, it is an important aspect of material management. Inventory control is actually a scientific system which indicate to what to order, when to order, and how much to order, and how much to stock, or that purchasing cost and storing cost are kept as low as possible. It means stocking adequate number and kind of stores. Inventory management is a discipline primarily about specifying the shape and placement of stock goods. It is method of maintaining stock of items at a level at which purchasing and stocking costs are lowest possible, and it is systematic way of avoiding over or understocking, and it is required a different location within a facility or within many location of supply network. Inventory management. With the help of inventory management, any hospital can keep precise and updated stock records. As pharmaceutical surgical equipment are most utilized items or thing in hospital. Therefore, each hospital should have decent load of medicine stock, and it should also have vaccine and degradable products which are used during operation or surgeries. The true key is inventory management is to maintain an optimal inventory. Don't reduce inventories, manage them. Inventory and quality management. Customers usually perceive quality service as availability of goods when they want them. Therefore, inventory must be sufficient to provide high quality customer service. Objective of inventory management is to provide right drug supplies, equipment at right place, right time, and in right quantity to keep the investment on inventories minimum, to minimize idle time by avoiding stock outs and shortage, to minimize the loss, to improve quality of care, to avoid obsolescence of inventor, to supply material in time, to give maximum client service, to avoid shortage of stock, and to meet unforeseen future demand. Inventory may be official inventory, unofficial inventory. Official inventory include materials lying in main store and being accounted for but have not issued to user units, which may be dressing, X-ray supplies, laboratory supplies, housekeeping items. Whereas unofficial inventory is material that has been issued to users units such as, for example, in dispensary, central sterilized department, OPD, laundry, or cast rooms. Function of inventory control is to carry adequate stock to avoid stock outs, to order sufficient quantity per order to reduce order cost, to stock just sufficient quantity to minimize inventory carry cost, to make judicial selection of limiting quantity of perishable items, to take advantage of seasonal cyclic variation on the availability of materials, to provide safety stock, to take care of fluctuation in demand, to ensure optimal level of inventory holding, to minimize the total inventory cost. There is actually two basic principles in inventory management and decision. First of all, determine when to reorder inventory items, which is known it is time based, and determination how much to reorder inventory items, which is quantity based. There are also the various costs associated with inventory management. These are actually the costs associated with ordering, holding, and managing the inventory or stock of any patient in the hospitals. These are divided into three categories: ordering cost, which are also called setup cost; carrying cost, which is known as holding cost; stock out cost, or actually shortage cost. The ordering cost of inventory is actually associated with ordering of any items, which may include clerical cost of preparing purchase order, cost of electronic data in charge, transportation cost, cost of finding suppliers and expediting orders, receiving cost. There may be carrying cost of inventory, cost of holding cost, which include expenses that occur for inventory storage and its maintenance. It includes storage space cost, opportunity cost of money invested in inventory, inventory risk cost, which occur because of several reasons, for instance, damage in transit, shipping error, inventory financing cost, which include investment made in name of inventory and include costs like interest of working capital, inventory service cost, or a stock out cost, which is due to temporary or permanent loss of sale when demand cannot be met, shortage cost, also known as shortage cost. Total inventory cost is sum of carrying cost and ordering cost. There is some ordering inventory costing method. Uh, uh, Mostly there is two method followed, which is FIFO method, known as original purchase method, first in and first out. In this method, the goods that have been purchased at first are the ones that will be sold first, and so on. It is most common method. Another method is last in first out, means the last in unit that arrive in inventory as the first one sold, and it is main cause for distressed inventory or unbalance. Last in first out accounting for inventory causes lower income and lower book value. Last in and last out mostly considered principle that prices always rise. So the most recently purchased inventory is the most expensive and thus sold out first. In the context of inventory management system, there is also system. It include independent demand system or dependent demand system. In independent demand system, the management of procurement and distribution of finished goods, or for example, in the form of ventilators, any computers, machines, but in the form of finished goods. Independent demand system, there is manage inventory requirement for raw material and supplies based on what is need for production. Independent demand system, actually it is a management of components of any machinery or any product which is not in finished form. In independent demand, the demand is in and distribution of finished goods. There is also pull system or acquisition system. Pull system is actually operating unit under a medicine from warehouse or suppliers according to local determination of need. In push or allocation system, a central authority in any hospital orders medicine from suppliers and determines the quantity that will shipped to the operating unit. In push or allocation system is not based on the actual demand, actual patient demand or any demand. It is based on the forecasting system that central authority forecast that this thing is needed for next 6 months or 1 year. And it is also moved from central authority to lower operating units, where any pull system is based on the real demand of anything, and therefore it moves from operating unit medicine from warehouse or supplies according to local determination of need. There is also lead time, which include length of time in between decision to replenish items and actual addition to stock. It is identification of need, then suppliers, and then recipient of item, and which include identification internal lead time and from supplier to recipient external lead out time. And it is total time lead time, which include the need and the recipient of any item to inventory manager. This is include total lead out time. In inventory, there is also two types of control system, which is include fixed continuous system known as fixed order quantity, mean constant amount order when inventory declines to predetermined level. There is also periodic system, which is fixed time period, in that order placed for variable amount after fixed passage of time, after 6 months, 1 year. It is there is actually the four main procedures: ordering, obtaining from stores, storing, recording, labeling, holding, issuing, giving out, decoding the issuance, balancing, controlling, or maintaining. Some techniques are followed for inventory: ABC, VET, HML analysis, XYZ analysis, FS and STE, golf analysis, or SOF analysis. One is ABC technique, which is also known as always better control or Pareto analysis. If this analysis of store item is based on cost criteria, it is a process of classifying items by using values as measures. In this, the item is divided into three categories. A category, which is usually costly items, come under this category, require proper storage and handling, and overstock is what, and it is high consumption value. B items is neither costly or nor cheap, and it is medium item, medium consumption value. C item is cheaper in cost and it is lower consumption value. It is also known as selective inventory control. It is also known as 80 by 20 formula, which is actually given by Pareto principle. According to this formula, a small number of causes is responsible for large percentage of theft, usually a 20% to 80% ratio. Means 80% of complaints come by 20% of customer. And it is actually the unbalance between cause and effect. 80 by 20 principle of Pareto principle is according to that less is more. Means the key is not effort or hard work, but finding right thing to achieve. Mean crucial part is to find 20% and focus on it. And philosophy behind is 80%, the result is actually 20% effort. And actually A item, B or C. A item is actually cover the 10% of total inventories and consume about 70% of total budget. And it requires strict control, and it requires no safety stock or low safety stock, and it needs maximum follow-up, and it must be handled by senior officer. B category items covers 20% of total inventory and consume about 20% of total budget. It requires moderate control and include low safety stock and requires periodic follow-up. It can be handled by middle management. C items cover 70% of total inventories and consumes about 10% of total expenditures and require low control, and it can be handled by any official of management. In these, 10% is actually total of the items and it is consumed, and total annual or dollar value is 70%. Mean its consumption value is 70%. And category B is actually the 20% of total items of inventory, and it is also consumed by 20%. And in C category, the total percentage of items is 70% and consumption rate is 10%. Now, next come the another analysis which is known as V and D analysis. It is known as vital, essential, and desirable analysis. In these, the items are categorized on the basis of criticality of providing health services. For example, V is vital items without which hospital cannot function. It includes defibrillator, ventilator, oxygen regulator, and forming 10% of total hospital items. E is essential item without which institution can function but may affect the quality of services. It forms 40%. For example, X-ray machine, electric pottery. D is desirable item whose non-availability can be tolerated for long period. For example, BP machine. If we can combine a matrix ABC analysis, VAD, there comes a analysis, and there comes a three category 1, category 2, and category 3. Category 1 include all vital and expensive items require close monitoring. Category 2 covers item of essential category, and category 3 compromise consists of desirable and cheaper form. Therefore, if we may make matrix, then various items come under the category of category 1, 2, and 3. Another analysis, FSN analysis, which is fast flow non-moving items, which is based on the quantity and rate of consumption, based on the pattern of issues from the store. F is the items that are fastly moving items that have large consumption. S are the slow moving items, and N items are non-moving items from inventory. To conduct this analysis, last date of CPN or last date of issue whenever is taken into account and period, and the issue item in past 2 or 3 years are considered. According to this analysis, identify active items which require to be reviewed regularly, surplus items whose stocks are higher than rate of consumption, and non-moving items which are not being used for long period of time. And therefore, non-moving items which are in stock or not for the longer period should be condemned, and such items should be identified, disposed of. And the reason for non-utilization should also be studied. Big hospital notice 10 to 15% of items are non-moving. HML analysis is high, medium, or low unit value. It is based on the unit value of items when inventory is sorted by cost. Unit value is basis of this analysis and not the annual consumption value. Whereas ABC analysis is based on annual consumption value. In H unit, if more than 1000 sections are official, then it is known as high unit value. And it is if under to 1000 unit, then it is moderate unit value. And if less than 100, then it is low unit value. XYZ analysis or another analysis which is based on the value of inventory stored. For example, X items are those whose stock values are high. Z items are whose those stock values are low. And Y items fall between two categories. Such classification done after every year at the time of annual stock taking. Now come the Gulf analysis, which is government, ordinary and local and foreign analysis, which is based on source of supply from which material is procured. In Gulf analysis, classification is based on availability and nature of supplies, whether it comes from government suppliers, ordinary suppliers, local suppliers, or foreign suppliers. There is also SOS analysis, in which raw material can be classified according to seasonal items and off-season items. Since the prices during season would generally be lower, therefore seasonal items are available only for limited period, and it should be procured and stored for meeting the need of full years. Therefore, quantity required for such items should therefore be determined after comparing the cost saved on account of low prices if purchased during season with the higher cost of carrying inventory if purchased throughout the years. Another is STE analysis. Classification is based on source of supply. STE classification is a system where materials are sought out as scarce to obtain, difficult to obtain, and easy to obtain. S is scarce items which are difficult to obtain, generally imported, and D is difficult, which are available indigenously but are difficult items to procure. E is easy item, which is easy to procure and readily available to local market. There may be other method of ordering items which include two-bin system, cyclic system. Two-bin system, in this system, orders are not placed at fixed period but are placed when the stock of items reach a certain predetermined level. For fixing this level, the information include lead time, buffer stock, reorder stock. Lead time is actually discussed identification from need and then recipient of time, and buffer stock is actually the stock which is maintained as insurance against any emergency situation, against the and unforeseen demands and used in emergency. Reorder level is actually the level at which new order is placed equals the amount that will be consumed in the lead time plus buffer stock. There is also maximum order time, which is the maximum quantity of material to be stocked beyond which the item must not be inventory. And minimum order level is the quantity of material derived by calculating average daily consumption of material. Cycling system is also, in this system the various items are checked within certain periodicity to find out the consumption pattern. And in this system the inventories are regulated by quantities ordered each time. There is also economic order quantity. It is the order quantity that minimize total inventory holding, and it is fixed for each item taken into account. And therefore, we want to determine the optimal number of units to order so that we minimize the total cost associated with purchase, delivery, and storage. In economic order quantity, there is a equation include order quantity, annual demand quantity, fixed order cost per years, annual holding cost per years. There is also a JET technique or just in time technique, which is actually considered by Takaya Ohno of Toyota, considered as father of GIT technique. It emphasized that the inventories are a result of faulty technique used at various levels, and we have to analyze these. GIT philosophy promotes that instead of acquiring inventories, there should be perfect coordination among the different subsystems of material management at the level of demand estimation to distributors. Every subsystem had got the beforehand information that which item at which quantity is required, and exactly at the time of requirement it is supplied to the user units without any delay. Conclusion is actually that effort is all important, but knowing where to make an effort makes all the difference. Some recent advances. There is old paper modeling and analysis of healthcare inventory management system. In this paper, Mark Hope decision process inventory model is developed for hospital pharmacy, considering the information of bed occupancy in the hospital. Major finding of this is the significant reduction in inventory level and total inventory cost of pharmacy items when the demand for the item is considered to be correlated with number of beds of each type. For example, it is observed that 53% inventory cost is reduced when the bed occupancy state is acute care, and 63 it is when it is rehabilitative, even 54 when long-term care. There is also point of use hospital inventory management with inaccurate usage capture. This paper and is actually part is to ability to accurately and consistently capture hospital inventory. And in practice, 100% accuracy of inventory management is infeasible, and they use model of level of to determine the level of accuracy in particular hospital management point of use inventory location. And they use actual net inventory and reported net inventory in developing the system performance measures. And they develop the cost or service level and assume periodic review, base stock and inventory policy with full back ordering. And result from these models provide insight for supply chain manager in hospital as well as hospital as administrator, and that consider that technology of inventory management for accurate usage capture. There is also another paper published in hospital level inventory control and system wide cost saving at case study from Turkey. It is based that the house centralized web based information system is introduced in Turkey to manage the inventories of public hospital, and it shows that it improves the efficiency of hospital projecting quantities of items. And according to this, that the success of inventory was evaluated by using indicator and the purchase unit of service delivered, and included that the new web-based inventory management infrastructure helped the hospital sector to become more efficient in terms of size of stock held and intertemporal changes at the end of stock. In Pakistan, supply logistic management assessment should be take place by UNICEF and through the help of Melinda Gates Foundation. And the main purpose of assessment is to provide the quantitative data on the supply of selected medicine and commodities. Objective is to analyze the current supplies logistics for pneumonia and diarrhea, to consult with key opinion decision makers and others to get practical and logical information. They use the mixed method, quantitative and qualitative method to determine assessment. According to this assessment, the conclusion is that the system of Pakistan is dissolved, the supply chain medicine is totally provisional subject, and it was observed that overall public health supply chain system was predominantly mixture of push and pull system, but in case of unavailability of demanded, it is push system. And successful relevant implementation management software will facilitate many online links are required to develop interlink of LMIS and with DHS, but the medicine forecasting and quantification should be based on WHO recommendation, which should not exist, and the capacity of medicine stored at health facility levels are enough for medicine supplies. But the handling pharmaceutical and knowledge about the staff members are not enough, and these are not based on forecasted criteria of WHO. According to this, status of shortage infrastructure selected in district of Sindh and hospitals given, um, and also stock handling in selected district hospitals Sindh is also given in Punjab and Sindh. And there is also news that KPK government to introduce inventory management system in hospitals in 2020. Now comes the time for